Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and this is
Cathy Tillery.
The
Hey.
Edge with Donna and Cathy. Thank you so much for watching us. We appreciate you watching this show. We have so much fun.
Yes, we do.
I mean, it's always something going on. And I'm going to tell you, I don't think we've ever had 2 seconds with a delay, have we?
No, and I'll tell you something that actually during the break a while ago, I was talking to your husband because he is the tech man. He's great. Anyway, I was talking.
And no, we won't hire him out. He's not going to go to work for you. No.
I was talking to Phil though about we were talking about emails and setting all that up and everything, and I just lost my train of thought because I was talking. Golly, that actually happens in real life.
It really does happen in real life. Especially, let me ask you something. Have you ever went to another room and maybe your husband was following you and you turn around and you go, what'd I come in here for? Phil and I are beginning to do that.
Those are called brain farts. Those are called brain farts. I just had one.
It can happen.
I just had one. Yeah, because I was thinking about your husband and how he had helped me.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that was it.
The email thing.
Yes. Phil is so good at technology and everything. And I was thinking how nice he was, how wonderful and gracious he is, you know. Yes, Cathy, I help you, you know.
I train him
well. And I was thinking about how bad our customer service has got.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Because me and him were like just so polite and nice to each other. And I see that with a lot of older people. But even now, don't get me wrong, some older people now, 50s, 60s, 70s, that are out there working, they're not polite either.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's because it's the me generation that we had a few years ago. And so, but let me tell you this. First of all, if you got a business, and you remember my business, I used to have 8 Nextel stores all over Alabama.
Sure
and
did.
the quickest way to get fired is if a customer told me somebody was rude. I didn't even let them finish out the day. And my customers were really good at letting me know if anything like that happened. So what they would do is they would call and say, now, Donna, I know how you are. Just wanted to let you know I was in your Oxford store and somebody was rude. I'd go right then. Because I knew my customers were not going to lie to me.
Yeah, customer service is so important in everything.
It's crucial to us.
It doesn't matter if
business,
you're, yes. And it doesn't matter if you're a hardware sales or, actually, it's even in the medical field now. The hospitals.
Is it because people are being overworked? Maybe?
Well, I don't know. They actually have a lot of the hospitals have their own setup where it's actually a private marketing company that calls and surveys the patients to see how their stay was. You know, and it's actually a good thing because a lot of medical personnel, if they've been doing it a while or maybe they're just having a bad day, you still don't take it out on your patients. And you don't take it out on your customers.
No. And let me tell you something about customers.
They should know you're having a bad day. The sad thing is, though, a lot of times what happens is, I think, when somebody does complain, their coworker just blows it off. You know, or their boss blows it off and says, oh, no, that couldn't happen. She's been with us for 50 years. You know, well, hey, if she's been with you longer than like 10 or 15 years, she probably can be ugly if she needed to be ugly.
Well, and let me say this too.
And that's
because
not
everybody
cool.
can have a bad day. Everybody can.
Yes.
So if you're the boss and somebody complains, you know, they say something bad, I would confront the employee. But maybe they're going through a divorce and you don't even know about it. I mean, you know, maybe they're sick. I mean, with COVID going around, you never know what it's going to be. But I still think you need to confront the employee in a nice manner, though. Don't slam them. Don't slam them.
And just say, you know, tell me a little bit about what's going on. You know,
is there something I need to know about? Can I help you in any way?
Right.
Because if it's a good employee and they're showing up for work and they're there every day, it could be they don't realize they were rude.
Right.
And you really need to confront them about it because really, I mean, you know, I've done that before, you know, like not Phil tells me I'm not the best patient in the world. So when I had COVID, I was not nice.
No.
So
I haven't had that. I don't want that.
So really, sometimes people it's just, they don't know they're being rude.
Right.
So it's worth it, especially if it's been a long time employee, to go ahead and talk with them about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to learn to be polite to their peers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that is really heart wrenching. If I see, like, if I go in Lowe's or in a department store, you know, I love going in Kohl's. Have y'all gone in Kohl's?
Mm-hmm.
Have you gone in there? What's the first thing you do?
We don't have one around
Well,
here.
no, but they have one in Oxford, and it's wonderful because the first thing they do when you hit the doors, you know what they say? Welcome to Kohl's.
Oh, that sounds like
when
Moe's.
You hit the door.
You ever been to a Moe's?
Yes, they do the same thing.
They do the same. Welcome to Moe's.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It makes you feel good.
And it makes you feel good. You
it's
feel
not
like
corny.
You're part of it.
Yeah, but I know those employees are thinking, oh my gosh, I have to say this. But it's really good because you're actually making the customer feel good.
And let me tell you, see, this is a secret to running. This is one of the secrets to running a very successful business. Is everybody wants to feel like they belong somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the old show Cheers?
Yes.
Everybody knows your name.
Yes.
Perfect example right there. When people would come in, they would speak to everybody. Who came in, and that's what you've got to do. I don't care how busy you are.
That's right.
And if you're sending a text now to your boyfriend or your girlfriend, stop.
Yes.
Don't do that because the customer doesn't know.
Mm-mm.
You know, and it could be you're going through some kind of a medical emergency. Who knows? But if you are, you need to be up front with the customer and say, you know, I've got an emergency right here. Do you mind just 1 second?
Right.
Acknowledge they just walked in the door.
Yes. Let them know that you know they're there. That you acknowledge their presence, but you've got an emergency. So you know you have to say, you know, well, nurses do that. I'm sorry, Mr. So-and-so. My other patient down the hall is having some critical situation. He's really sick. I need to go in there. I'll be back to check on you.
If you'll just explain.
Oh yeah, people love it.
People love it.
Yeah,
and they feel like they're part of it. They'll go, and if they were a little rude to you because they wanted to be, I'm in a hurry. Because customers can be rude now. Let's admit that.
They can.
So if they are, but if you will explain the situation, or if you'll explain that you were on the phone about it, people will wait on you. But if you offer, you know, and you treat the customer as if they're nothing, the customer makes your paycheck.
Right.
And so if you treat folks like they're absolutely nothing, I mean, they'll go across the street, and everybody knows how cheap I am. I will do anything to save a dime.
Yeah.
I have actually walked across the street from another business to shop with somebody else and paid more because the person actually treated me like I was somebody. Yeah,
and the other thing is young people or anybody, this is just some work, little tips to try to make you do better. If you know a customer comes up to you and you say I don't and they ask where an item is per se in the store, you know, whether you're at Lowe's or you're at Walmart or Target or wherever, or Publix or wherever, you can say, I'm sorry, I don't really know where that is. It's better to be honest and say, but you know what, I'll try to get someone to help you. You know, and then you actually try to get someone to help. Don't do this. This happened, not necessarily to me, but I watched it happen. A customer was wanting something in the department, and the young worker, I'm sure they were new, and they just basically said, oh, hold on. I've got to get the phone. It's my boss. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't help you. We're going to a meeting. You can't do that. Wow. That's a no-no.
No, because that makes you feel like, well, then what am I, thin air?
So in other words, the customer that's paying your salary, you basically just blew off for your boss. No, you need to, I'm sure your boss, if he or she is good, they would say, wait on the customer, call me back.
If I were your boss, I'd go, what are you doing here? I mean, you got a customer there, and you're. I mean, I would do that.
Well, yeah. Why are you in my office when you've got customers out there? You know.
And you just made a great. I mean, this is like a great point. If you're new and you don't know the answer, just simply say, "I'm new."
Yeah, say I'm new. I hadn't been here but 6 months,
but don't brush them off.
No.
Then say, but you and I are going to go find out what the answer is. I'm going to tell you what, they will love you and they will always go to you.
And that's in any profession.
If you're making a commission, you just made yourself a friend. You just upped your income. If you say that. Yeah. It's okay to not know.
And if they don't know, like if you've switched jobs, I know like when I switched careers for a short time, I loved the customers. And so I'm sure they like me because I love them. I love chatting with them. I loved hearing about their stories, and all that. And sometimes when it got down to what I was actually supposed to be doing and I didn't know, I would just tell them, I'm sorry, I haven't learned this yet, but let me call someone, to help me.
So you're offering a solution, even though you're still helping the customer. If you don't know, because you're offering a solution, I'm going to call somebody and find out.
Let me find somebody that can help me. Yeah. Now, and then on the flip side of that, if you're the person that I was calling for help,
then you need to be helpful.
Yeah, be helpful. Don't be hurtful. That can be really hurtful. Yeah. If you're going to someone to get help and then basically they're ugly and rude to you too, then it kind of backs you. I mean, I can feel for these young people because it backs them into a corner and they're kind of like, oh my gosh, what do I do? What do I say?
Yeah, I'm not
the lady or man that I'm supposed to get my answers from or help from, well, they're being ugly to me. And actually, that's what's really terrible because that's just workforce jealousy. That happens in every profession, But it never really happened in nursing. And we never had, I don't think that ever happened in that. But in sales jobs or in...
It can be horrible.
Yes, I'm sure. And it's really sad because the person that gets hurt the most is the customers.
It is. And let me tell you what I did
one time. The person trying to find out how to do their job because they don't know how.
I don't like to wait. I mean, I'm one of those, I don't like to understand. I have to sometimes. But I most certainly did not want my customers to have to wait. They were busy. They were business customers, what have you. And you remember back in the old days, we had those old analog cell phones,
I remember I bought my first bag phone from Donna Fiesel.
Bag phone.
The bag phone.
Those are good phones. They were 3-watt phones.
I still have it.
You can get out better with them than you can the little handhelds.
I still have that?
Those handhelds are 0.6 of a watt, and those bag phones were 3 watts.
Really?
That's why they just weren't as cool looking. Everybody'd rather have a handheld.
Well, okay, so while we're talking about phones here now with Donna, because she's the phone expert here on this, I have to ask this. I heard one time that there was a specific car is why the bag phone was invented. Because that specific expensive car broke down all the time.
Was it the Lexus?
No, it was actually Jaguar is what I heard.
Oh, really?
I heard that the Jaguar maybe was the first car phone. So somebody out there watching, you can look that up or tell us because I haven't looked it up.
Yeah, let us know about it.
Do you know that?
I didn't know that.
You know the answer to that one? I don't know. I just heard that the Jaguar may have been that was a very expensive car back in early 90s.
Still is.
But when you think about it, wasn't that the first car that had a phone?
I don't know.
I think it was.
I thought the Cadillac was.
Oh, really? Well, I didn't know that now. See?
Yeah.
So I'm learning.
Sure
so we need some information.
Yeah.
Let us know that you're watching the show.
Because she won't sleep until she knows for sure.
No, I've got to know.
She's got to know.
Because that bag phone, I wondered about that. Yes. But I did. I had to get that bag phone because I was traveling. I was commuting an hour to work.
You know what my big break was? The big break was because I had the account with the police department, the sheriff's department, the highway patrol, and all those guys. So, and so I was always in their offices all the time selling them phones. And so the big break came as this. So this lady, and it was a grocery store. The grocery store is no longer there, but it was in Golden Springs,
right,
in the Arminville area. And so a lady got her groceries. Her husband was one of my clients, and he bought one of those bag phones for her.
Right.
And this is when hardly anybody had a bag phone. It was mostly lawyers, doctors, the security system personnel, people like that. So she's getting in her car, not paying any attention, did not lock the door, by the way. And so this guy was hiding in the back seat.
Oh, wow.
You may have heard about that. It hit the news. It was in the Anderson Star, the whole works. And so what happened was he got a gun and held it to her and told her to drive. So she did. Well, he didn't know she had a bag phone.
So this was probably in the early 90s.
This is the early 90s.
Because that was the bag phone
or the late
years.
80s. The late 80s.
Late 80s. I had the bag phone in like 1990. 91.
It was about right.
91,
That's about right. So it's about that time. So this is what happened. She got a break because this was like a dumb criminal. Okay, so they're going down the road, and this is hilarious. So it wasn't for her; it freaked her out. Okay, but she got over it, and she was sending me business. The police department was, everybody was sending me business all over the place after this. So what happened was she's going down the road, and it's kind of rural out in Yarmanville, see. So he told her he had to go to the restroom. Told her he had to go to the bathroom, and he wanted her to pull over, but he asked for the keys because he was afraid she'd drive off. So he thought he was being smart. He was really being stupid, because here's what happened. She had the bag phone, and he didn't know she had a bag phone. So, but you had to have the car cranked for the bag phone to work. So she said, okay, it's cold outside. Do you mind at least leaving the car cranked? And it was she was
car
lucky,
running, yeah.
It had to be running.
Yeah.
So she was lucky, though, that it was the kind of car you keep running with the key taken out. So what she did is, while he was doing his thing out in the woods, she picks up the
bag phone
and calls 911.
Because back then a lot of criminals didn't know about the bag phones.
They didn't know about the bag phones. See, they didn't know. So while she was dialing 911, she called the police, and then they were waiting on him.
Wow. So, okay, and that brings us to talk about something. Actually, someone posted, and it was very, very good on Facebook. And while we're talking, I know we've talked about customer service, so that's great, y'all. I hope you enjoyed those tips. Smile. If you don't know something, say I don't know, and go find out. And then now we're talking like safety. Actually, we've ventured from those tips to cell phones, and okay, so this was really good. Someone posted, and I actually shared it, Donna, on my wall, if I can get to it. I must not have good service. Oh well.
Safety.
It was really good, though. This
was it about cell phones?
No, actually, it was about safety, for young women out at the mall. Something happened actually like this week, I think.
Oh my goodness.
And someone shared it on my Facebook, and my Facebook's not coming up, so I can't see it per se. But the biggest thing was it was just great. It was these wonderful tips on how to stay safe. Park in, I wished I had it because it was great.
Don't park where a bunch of bushes are.
Well lit lighting areas, make sure you have your keys in hand with you.
Here's what I do with my keys. So here are my keys right here, okay? And I've got them in my hand. I get my hand like this, and I have my keys like this ready. Just in case somebody comes at me, I can go at them like this with the keys.
Oh, that's a good idea. And then the other thing was pepper spray. Actually, I bet the pepper spray company I saw, I think a couple days ago on the news, on one of the channels on television, and how pepper spray company is like blowing it out the seams right now.
I can see
because crime has gone up so much in the United States, everywhere. So, but it was basically these young ladies. They at first they were just smart girls. The little article was talking about if you see something, call 911. But make sure you're out of harm's way before you call. Yeah. Because a lot of times, actually, I didn't know this, the actual store workers, sometimes there's different rules, I guess, at different businesses where they actually can't dial 911. Did you know that? Somebody, there was something about that in there. So, but if you're personal phone, you could dial 911, but otherwise, yeah, I guess you have to go through the chain of command, maybe. But anyway, these two girls, they were fine. But a young man, actually, used to be a really good young man, posted something that was actually, and I shared it on my wall. So if you actually go to my wall, you can see it. The edge with Donna and Cathy.
I'm going to go to
I don't know if I shared it onto us.
Now, did you share it on the edge, or did you share it on your page? Because what I think
I shared it on my page. See if you can get to it. on my wall.
On
Go
your
to me.
wall.
Yeah.
Kathy. Somebody.
Go to me.
Someone named Kathy. There you go. Count 3.
See if it's on my wall. It just wasn't coming up. Keep going. There it is right there. Isn't it great? Attention, ladies.
Now, this is a real good one, too, right here.
Yeah, it is.
And make sure you fill up your gas tank before sunset, because gas prices have gotten so high, people will actually try to rob you and get the
carjackings.
Oh my goodness.
That's probably why that one is. Okay, so it says fill up your gas before dark. And if you have to fill it up after dark, then go to well-lit pumps. Because in larger cities, that's where a lot of the carjackings are taking place.
Oh, and let me mention one other thing too, that about paying, and this is if somebody tries to get your credit card information, okay?
Right.
The best thing to do when you go ahead and put fuel in the car, make sure you hit that end button several times. Just keep clicking.
I cancel.
The cancel, because what can happen is some fool is going to come in with something that's like a card reader, and it looks kind of like a credit card, and they'll put it in there where your credit card was, and they can get that it's magnetic field, and it goes onto that card.
Wow.
And that's how they're getting your information.
Really?
So
I didn't know about that.
Cancel.
I know they used to put chips at the readers, right? Some of them.
Oh, that's old. That's old.
Yeah.
Because what the criminal is always doing, they're trying to get, okay, we can't do that anymore.
They're getting ahead of the game.
They're ahead of you. So be really careful at that.
Yeah, and a bank, actually, a wonderful lady that worked at Noble Bank in Oxford. I don't know if she's still with Noble. She may be with another bank now, but she actually was the first person that ever told me, don't use your debit card, young people, at the gas pump. Credit. Always run it credit.
Well, for one
because
thing,
if not, they're getting your number and your PIN.
Not only that, but if you run into an issue, you get your money back a lot quicker on a credit card than you do your debit card.
Right.
Too many chains of commands to have to go through that.
So the credit card, you can hit most pumps. You can hit that bypass pin, or to say bypass. You young people, please do that. Everybody do that, because it's just safer if you do it as credit, because then they're not going to get your PIN and your credit and your number off your debit credit card.
If they get your PIN number, they may figure, I bet they use that PIN number on other stuff too.
Yeah.
And they might start with not only your bank, but anything else you have.
Right. Okay, and then the next tip on here, because we're just kind of going over these great tips, always have an extra phone charger with you.
That is an excellent idea.
So that if your phone dies, you can have a way of charging it in your car. So make sure you have that. We already said park in well-lit areas. That's a huge. Always look in your back seat. I taught my daughters that.
Just like that lady I was telling you about in Golden Springs, that fool was in the back. She was so busy and hurry up, get home, and just got off from work.
Right, she didn't think to
didn't pay any attention.
And I tell my daughters that. If it's dark, even if it's daylight.
And when
if
you
park
got those
your car outside,
it'd be easy for somebody to get back there.
Yeah. And, you're talking about vans. And that was something that was happening. I don't know if it's happening all over the state, but I had read some articles about be careful, don't park between two vans. Park in a well-lit area, not beside a van, or especially two vans. Because you young girls that are pretty out there, you may not think you're pretty, but they think you're gorgeous. And there's a lot of kidnappings for trafficking. I can't say it. Trafficking.
Trafficking. And this is what they do. Rick Staines mentioned this. He used to be on the show, our first shows.
Yes, he did.
So what he said is never park by a van. And he said what can happen is you're getting out of the car, you're not paying any attention, you got your keys in your mouth and all that kind of stuff. Then somebody's got those doors open in that van. They can get you and put you in there so fast.
Oh, they just shove you in. Yeah, and you're gone. Nobody even sees that you.
So be
nobody sees it.
Careful about.
Yeah.
And can I mention something else too? And this is about parking lots. Okay, if I go to any of these stores and I look in your car and I see that there's a kid or an animal in it, I'm going to bust your windows out. Okay, because especially when it's hot outside. Oh my goodness.
So dangerous.
That is over dangerous.
Oh,
This
so
happened.
dangerous.
I was at one of the Walmarts. I'll not tell you which one, but I was at one. I was about to get something and knock this lady's lights out, and there was a dog in it. And that dog
Did
looked
she have
like
the
it.
windows cracked?
No, they
Oh,
weren't even.
that's bad now.
Well, she comes running out and she said, "Don't break my windows out. I was just going to be a minute. You can't go to a Walmart and be in there just
No,
1 minute."
No, now when I've had, like, if I have my dog with me, and of course, not in 100-degree heat. I'm talking like the highs in the 70s or low 80s.
You just have a crack.
I crack all 4 windows.
Uh-huh.
Crack all 4 windows. And that's just to lock my car and run in to pay for gas or
People
to
have
run in
done
the
that with
quick
their
rep.
kids
Not,
in the back
I'm not
seat.
going in the grocery store.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going in the department store.
Just wait.
I'm not
find a
leaving my dog.
babysitter.
Well, let me tell you something else. The reason why you don't want to do that, because there is so many people snatching dogs. They'll actually break your window to steal a dog.
Yeah, they're going to get the dog.
Especially if it's a breed dog.
They're going to sell it at trade day.
Yeah, if it's a breed dog, like a, what is it, Shih Tzu or Yorkies, poodles.
People are wanting poodles now.
Maltese. Yeah, they'll break your window.
So just
don't. No.
Uh-huh.
But if you do have to take your dog out, because you don't want to leave it at home maybe for some reason, be sure and crack your windows. You know, what is that, about a ½ inch, I guess?
You know, find a buddy. Find somebody else who has a dog.
Yeah.
Find somebody else who has kids and take turns. You know, and then that way you don't have to carry the kids. You don't have to carry the dog. And just say, look, it's my turn, like every other week or every other Wednesday or whatever. Then you're going to say, hey, Susie, you know, it's my turn to go to the grocery store. I'm going to bring the kids, the dog, whatever over there. And then you do the same for Susie, okay?
Right. And then, and then the next one on here, this is a good one, because a lot of people think, well, oh, that's good. Somebody's sitting in that car beside my car when they're going out to their car. Or if you park beside someone and there's somebody in that car when you get out, then that's a red flag. So you hurry in the store, but get somebody or a security guard, or most of them have security guards now.
They will
walk you back to your car.
Because I saw somebody like that one time. It's been several years ago, and so I had somebody from Walmart actually walk to the car. I said, because this guy just seems a little weird. I mean, he seems to be eyeing all. He was eyeing all the women. Yeah. You know, I just noticed that. So and they'll do it if you'll ask.
That's a red flag.
The Quintard Mall would do that too.
Oh yeah. Well, most businesses have security guards now. Most of them do. Another good one is, would you take the stairs or the elevator?
I take the elevator.
Right. Take the elevator if you can. Okay. Now, I know a lot of us, like, I love taking stairs because it's better for your health.
Yeah, but safety.
But it's not better if you don't know the environment. You know, if you work in a hospital setting, then probably a lot of the nurses take stairs. But that's different because, you know, I mean, there's nurses right outside that door. That's a little different. But if you're in a new place or a business, or you're having to go
the Civic
to
Center
a doctor's
in Birmingham,
office,
that place creeps me out.
Take the elevator.
Yeah. Airports,
take the elevator.
Whatever. Yes.
Heads up, phones down. Be aware. Okay, how many of y'all, okay, there's your phone back, Donna. I'm passing her phone back. How many of y'all have actually been guilty of this? You're got your phone in your hand when you get out of the car. You're not even paying attention to your surroundings. Because you're talking to somebody on the phone or FaceTiming them.
Hurry, because we got less than
we got to go. Just be aware of your surroundings. Put
don't
the phone
walk
down.
into poles. Don't walk into walls.